Welcome back inside the Blast Off Cleaning Equipment Studios. It is the WPIAL Insider Show, and I'm your host and WPIAL Insider, Carlos Zofko, with my esteemed guest, his debut appearance on the WPIAL Insider Show. He's the 2025 Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Coach of the Year, the 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers High School Coach of the Year, a 2025 state champion, and the president of the Pittsburgh Black Coaches Association, Clairton football head coach Wayne Wade. Coach Wade, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Excited about it. Hopefully we can dig into some good WPIAL football stuff.
We got a lot to talk about. This has been an off-season of, I don't want to call it turmoil, but definitely an off-season of headlines. Have you ever seen an off-season like this before, Coach?
No. And I think it's just because, there's so many kids now with NIL stuff trying to create better situations for themselves, not only going to college, but before they get there. So I think that's what you have going around now. A lot of kids just trying to create better situations for themselves.
And I'm a little bit on the fence about this. On one hand, I went to a private school in high school as well. So, I didn't like the situation I was in. So I left my district. So on one hand, I agree with that. On the other hand, I do feel for the coaches and administrators where, hey, you have a program, you have a guy, and then he just ups and leaves. And do you feel as a head coach that, now obviously that doesn't really happen with the Clairton Bears, but do you think that's a little bit tough if you're a high school head coach and the best player that comes into your town the last 10 years and he just up and leaves? You'd be a little bit salty about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. When you get kids in high school and they're living in your district, you expect them to play for you. But like I said, kids are out there now trying to make their best decisions for them. There's a lot of money involved now with NIL stuff. So I wouldn't be upset per se, because you always want what's best for the kid.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely happening. It's part of what we're doing now.
Now, let me ask you this. Since NIL became legal in the state of Pennsylvania for high school players, they haven't really reworked the role from the PIAA standpoint amongst the transfers. Do you think it's worth hey, this major legislation happened amongst the state of Pennsylvania. Don't you think they should look into the transfer rule again, or at least rework it?
Yeah, for sure. Just because of that situation and everything is going on now. And also the Catholic versus public school type of deal, what they're trying to change and looking at possibly them having their own playoff system. So definitely they should look at it, because the world for football in high school is changing.
I agree. Now you brought up the Catholic versus, or at least private versus public debate. I did notice last year you got a little bit of revenge on Bishop Guilfoyle. That had to feel pretty good, huh?
It did. Just because, people always say it's unfair because they get to recruit, they go out, they get guys, get people to move in to those schools, the private schools, because kids have to pay. But, my take on it is just make it even.
Yeah.
Whatever their rule is should be the public school rule as well.
So that's what I don't get. So you built up a great program here. And I don't want to belittle Coach Tom Nola and the past greats of Clairton, but you've definitely extended the program to newer heights for sure. But wouldn't it be awesome if Clairton just gets Tyler Boyd Stadium? A couple of, not going to name any names around here, but within the South Hills, the Mon Valley, if they come to Clairton, you could be a powerhouse. I mean, that just makes sense to me, correct?
Yeah, for sure. And there's been a few kids that have left Clairton, played with us in a Little League program, and have left Clairton and are playing for other teams now and starters at those programs. So, it kind of goes both ways, but it would be great to have some of those kids come back, or some other kids want to come to our program and be a part of our success.
Right. Yeah. That's the one thing I just can't get over is the private schools. In I always, in my heart, I root for Central Catholic. As WPIAL Insider, I don't root for Central Catholic. In my heart of hearts, I do, because I'm an alumni. But at the same time, it's how can we be on the same playing field? They're beating every team in the WPIAL other than a select few by 50 points. I mean, something's got to give, and it's not Central cheating or doing anything outside of the realm. It's just parents want to send their sons to Central Catholic, and
Correct.
That's kind of what it is.
And there's really no argument there. Just like I said about Bishop Guilfoyle, there's really not an argument there because that's the way it's set up. And I think it was kind of set up that way, and we've gone from 4 classifications to 6 classifications because teams out east, out in Philadelphia, have the larger programs, have the bigger programs, have the bigger high schools that we have to compete with. So, if that was the case, Central would be state champs every year, and they're not.
Correct. Now, you bring up an excellent point. I want to get your opinion on this, too, because I like playing weird what-ifs in my head as Mr. WPIAL Insider. The schools out in Philly and out east, they all merge and become just these powerhouses. I don't know if you got a chance to check out Cumberland Valley up there. Cumberland Valley is electric out there. Just state-of-the-art facilities, everything about the school district. Do you want to see more schools merging? Now, like my first thought, when you do like a dream scenario, schools merging, obviously Clairton, TJ, that would be a powerhouse that nobody would ever want to see. What is your opinion on that? Do we have too many teams in Western Pennsylvania?
I think we do. I think some of the smaller schools like Clairton will eventually phase out.
Oh, you do think they will end up merging?
Yeah, I think it'll eventually phase out, like Duquesne.
Yeah.
Those type of situations. You lose some of that community, that pride that you have about your program. But ultimately, you got to think what's best for the kids.
Yes.
And ultimately, if you have these smaller schools that are struggling to win, struggling academically, struggling financially, it only makes sense to do what's right for the kids.
And the easy one to pinpoint, of course, is Center and Monaca. I mean, combining into Central Valley and the success that Central Valley has seen. And, I'm a very traditional guy myself. Like, I would never want to see a school shut down or merge or close or whatever. But it is cool to see Center and Monaca. I mean, those weren't two highly touted programs.
Right.
Central Valley certainly is a highly touted program. So you have to wonder, like even like Bell Vernon and Monessen, like that, like just running through your head, holy smokes, like the last 10, 15 years, what Bell Vernon and Monessen could have accomplished together. Fort Cherry and South Fayette. I mean, if those schools merge, there's a whole bunch of different what ifs that could be very, very cool. But I do want to ask you this. Did you know, somebody brought this up to me, it is a fact, that the WPIAL has the most amount of teams of any district in the country?
Yes.
That's incredible. And
incredible.
It's so hard to, no wonder it's so hard to win the dang WPIAL title.
114?
I think it might be even more now because we added. Yeah, I was gonna say added.
I think you might be about 123.
Yeah, I thought it was around 123, but it's incredible.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And small schools like you, the 1A and 2A classes, there's so many teams. I said, now you guys, I didn't want to bring this up, Coach.
Okay.
That the Laurel game, beat Fort Cherry, kind of had you guys backs up against the ropes. Mm-hmm. I would contend that 6 1A WPIAL schools would have won that 1A state title. Do you agree with that?
I would say, yeah, just because it was tough this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
even
Jeanette, was that in the semifinals or quarterfinals?
Quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Even with Jeanette,
And they were a 10 seed, I think.
Absolutely. And they got better as the year went on, and they really had some talented kids over there. And they started gelling towards the end of the season, which, just think of Jeanette merges, with a larger school up there, Hempfield or whatever. So that I think it'll eventually come.
The going back to the 1A season last year, and I think that's why WPIAL Insider is such a big account, because I do love smaller school, like 1A and 2A. I absolutely love it. You guys had 10 straight shutouts. How the heck did that happen last year? I mean, what was the secret sauce there for your defense?
We had so many experienced guys on defense, and we had 6 or 7 guys on that defense that were 4.5 or lower speed.
Oh yeah.
So you can't account for that. You watch us on film and you think, okay, well, we can make this play or we can do this, but then when you play against us, when you have guys flying around and getting to the ball, it makes it tough on defense.
Oh, yeah.
And then offensively, we turn around with those same kids.
Game breakers anytime.
Anytime. So
yeah.
before you know it, you're looking up and it's 21, 28, nothing. And now you're out of your game.
You're wondering what the heck just happened real quick.
And that's what kind of happened as the season started rolling. We played a couple tough teams early on, kind of prepared us for our single A schedule. And then it just definitely prepared us for the playoffs.
I'm glad you brought up the couple of tough teams early. You know, you never run from a week 0 opponent. I love that about you. Farrell this year. You had Amani last year. You've played Steel Valley and Westinghouse. Westinghouse, I think, after they had just won the City League title, I think they went to a state title game. What is the point of playing such a hard week 0? I mean, even like going back, and I think the WPIAL might have scheduled this. I don't know if it was you guys at WPIAL, but even the Aliquippa series.
We scheduled.
Was that you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was an electric series as well. So why schedule such a hard week 0?
Because it only prepares us for the season. If you really look at it, 1A, 2A, and 3A could possibly interchange during the year, right? So why not? Why not play the tougher teams to prepare your team, you know, especially if we know we're going to be successful in single A.
Right.
So it only prepares us for the regular season, but also into the playoffs, because then you start seeing the teams like Bishop Guilfoyle, who are the bigger single A programs who have 50, 55 men on their roster. So you're used to it. You're
How
ready
many do you guys roster?
We roster about 30 every year.
Roughly 30, give or take.
30,
Gotcha. Yep. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up, amongst your schedule last year, a major talking point was the Shady Side game. Is that something, where did you stand on that in regards to, you know, you and your fellas want to play?
Yes.
That takes away from your gate when a game gets canceled. It takes away from your gate, your concession. I mean, I've been to Clairton games. It is an entire community day when the Bears are home game. Did you feel a little bit slighted that you lost that home game?
We did. Just because if there was a legitimate reason, then we'll take it. You know, we won't play because the kids' safety is first.
Right.
But it really wasn't a legitimate reason.
I reported all over it. I mean, I had screen grabs of the final couple plays at Shady Side, the game prior. It's like they have like 35 kids on the sideline dressed up.
And then they played the rest of the season.
So it never happened again.
Right.
People were saying that Clairton flew all, you know, it strikes every once in a while.
That's what they call it. It happens. And that's why we also ask the WPIAL, those non-conference games.
So you do reach out and ask to schedule tougher opponents?
Yes. Yes. We've said that for years. So those non-conference games on our schedule that they give us, even if it's a single A opponent, possibly playoff team from last year or an up-and-coming team, you know, and it's happened in the past before. I think one year we played 3 non-conference games, single A teams. They were all in the top 5.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right. I mean, I believe it, because as you say that, I'm like going through my head. I'm like, yeah, Clairton does always seem to play monster non-conference games. And that's no slight to your conference. You play in an awesome conference as well.
Correct.
I love that. What did they call that? Is that the Black Hills?
Eastern 8.
Or Eastern 8, yeah. The Eastern 8.
Yep.
Yeah, Eastern 8 conference is great as well. Staying on the topic of last year, just because I love going down memory lane. You had to be upset you didn't see Fort Cherry in the final.
We were.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, the kids were.
Even the cheerleaders had the sign coming out. We wanted Fort Cherry, but we'll grill y'all too. I mean, it was beautiful.
Right. And it was more or less the kids. They kind of wanted their lick back.
Yeah, they wanted the lick back.
Right. You know, and just watching the game, we understood that going into the game, we were still playing a good football team in Laurel.
Yeah.
Very sound, very tough. And they got after Matt. They really did. And he was a little banged up. And we knew that you know, he was having some shoulder problems during the regular season. He wasn't throwing the ball a ton. So we kind of thought it might happen, and it did. So we moved on.
Laurel was one of those teams last year, and I've said this on the podcast. I mean, I was really like ticked off at Laurel because I was pounding the drum all year long like, hey, I know everybody says Fort Cherry and Clairton. I'm telling you, Laurel's right up there with the rest of them. And then they started off hot, and then they lose to Bishop Canavan. And I think Chartiers Houston like took them all the way down to the wire. I'm like, oh, maybe I was way off on Laurel. And then no, they beat Fort Cherry. I was like, I knew Laurel was the Spartans have a really good program up there. And it just goes back to 1A. I mean, I know 6A and 5A get all the hype and pub. There's no better football in Western Pennsylvania than it's any given night for 1A football. It's
It really is, especially when you talk about the better teams, the better programs. Any given night you can lose. That's why we prepare the way we prepare week in and week out. That's why you see some of our games. Yep. You know, at halftime it may be 40-0 because we're preparing for that team just like we would prepare for any team. But last year with Laurel, you know, those couple games that you talk about, Bishop Canavan may have been the second best team in single A.
I agree. Yeah, Bishop Canavan was cooking.
Right.
And really, you have a Matt Sig performance that was like a WPIAL performance of the lifetime against Canavan. If Matt doesn't have that crazy performance, I mean, people look at Canavan a whole lot different than how they did. And Coach Steele kind of did it. I mean, he got hired in June or July. It was a real quick turnaround. So it was almost like a foundational year. But Canavan, are you happy to see them move up to 2A?
Well, I mean, we like the competition.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, they seem to have a sour taste in their mouth about losing to us. They've lost to us a lot, you know, since they've been in single A. So every time we compete against them, it's like they want their lick back.
Right.
And they've gotten it. A few years ago, we went up there in the rain, playoff game. I think it was quarterfinal, and we lost to them.
Yep.
They had a really good team. But I think if they had a chance to do it again against Fort Cherry, they would kind of game plan a little different, and that game would be different.
Yeah.
And then talking about the Shar Houston game with them, Laurel last year, I don't think they game planned really for them. Shar Houston came out and they were in a lot of spread and they did a lot of different stuff that they hadn't done a couple weeks before.
Oh, really?
So
See, this is why I love the coach talk.
So it kind of threw them off. It had them kind of off their game.
Yeah.
And
this is amazing. I just remember that game. There's a reason why, like, I didn't trust Laurel in the playoffs, and you knew exactly. You knew. I mean, it's like you watched film before the.
For sure.
Big shout out to Shar Houston head coach Dan List, though. He's a nice up and comer. I think he'll be a good coach. Now you talk about you know, people bringing their best against Clairton. You know, not that it's a team Super Bowl, but when you have Clairton on the schedule, you circle that Clairton Bear game. You were the DC during the 66 game win streak. How was that? I mean, that is there pressure every single night to continue? That's got to be crazy amount of pressure.
Well, it was pressure coming back from the state championship loss.
Yeah.
And we knew we had a good team returning. So to get off to a good start, we were on pace. And then we ran into Shar Houston.
Yeah.
If you remember that first year, Shar Houston gave us a scare.
You that first one? Or?
No, they gave us a scare during the season. We had actually lost to Laurel.
Week one,
that
right?
that was our first loss.
Yes, okay.
And then
full circle moment.
Yeah,
there.
right. And then we were able to get our lick back with Laurel in the playoffs that year. But we had a tough game against Shar Houston in that run. But it wasn't pressure. It was like we almost invited it, and we knew we were really good. So it was like, okay, we got to prove ourselves each week.
Right.
So practice became easy, because we had to continue to streak. And it wasn't pressure. It was like, just go out and play.
Yeah.
Let's go out and compete. Let's do what we do. And before you knew it, we were at 30. And then we were at 40-something. Then we were at 50. And we're like, wow, this is amazing. We can really do
this.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I will always give, I believe it was Homer City. I will always give props to them. I believe it was Homer City that beat Bishop Guilfoyle, ended their streak right before. They were at like 64.
They were right behind us.
Yeah, they were close.
They
64,
were right
65 before Homer City did it. And I think it was the state semis or state quarter. So, major tip of the cap to them. I can remember going to a couple practices. Now, this is years ago, but I can remember Clairton's practices being different. I can specifically, vividly remember Aaron Matthews. You had them sprinting back and forth, end of the practice sprints. Aaron finished his sprints, and there were a couple bigger offensive linemen, and I can remember Aaron going behind them and pushing them through, and I was like, I've never seen that before. Like, this Clairton town is built different. I was like 18, 19 at the time, but yeah, I always think back to that, and I was like, that was like a singed into my brains. Like Clairton is freaking different.
Yeah, that's kind of, giving homage to our program. The kids, kind of the culture and climate that has been created because of all of the wins and all of the success. Like that's part of our fabric. That's who we are. That's what we do. Our saying is family and together all the time. And those kids really mean that.
I 100% believe it. Yeah. Is that the secret sauce of Clairton there? Is just, I mean, it is a family. Like they do grow up 4 or 5 years old playing football and all the way up and through. They do. And our little league program is so important to our high school program. They're down there grooming those guys to be tough and, to continue to be a part of the pride and tradition and commitment within the city with our high school program. So by the time we get them, those kids are ready to go. Do they run not your offense per se, but somewhat of your offense, some of the same formations, a little bit?
It's kind of tough until the kids get about 11 or 12.
Right.
So the younger kids kind of, it's the same kind of stuff, pitch left, pitch right.
Yeah, a little razzle
let's get him outside, that kind of stuff. But yeah, for the older kids coming up, if they're a year or two away, they're kind of running what we run.
Starting to get their feet wet.
Right. And then defensively, they start at the babies.
Oh, really?
At the guys that are 6 years old running the same defense.
Well, how long have you been the head coach for Clairton now? Is it 10
I'm going
years?
on my 13th year.
13 years. Holy smokes. I'm older than I thought. 13 years. Okay, so these guys have literally grown up in your defense then.
Yes.
Your current guys.
Yep.
That is awesome.
And that's how last year's team with the...
Yeah, that's why 10 straight shutouts
right,
started to make
knew
sense
exactly what to do.
They're like, I've been doing this since I've been 6. Yeah, I'm plugging the A gap here.
Right, there you go. There you go.
Now, one of the cool storylines from last season was the grand opening of Tyler Boyd Stadium. How was that? And is Tyler still around the program?
Yes, Tyler's still around the program. He still visits. He's still doing his summer football camp. And it was great. Like to be able to rename the program after a kid who recently had just left the program, very successful in his NFL career, very successful in his college career here in the state of Pennsylvania. So it was huge for us, for him to put his name on the stadium, and he continues to support.
I was really hoping the Steelers were going to pick up the phone last year. I mean, they could have used them. They could have used them.
Without a doubt. It would have been great.
What do you think is next for him? I know, he's enjoying retirement, but I would love to see him on the sideline one way or the other. You think that's in the cards, maybe? I'm
not sure if he really wants to get into coaching. If he did, the door is open. Yeah. We would make it work. But I think he's enjoying his time now,
and rightfully so. And rightfully so.
And if he ever does, the door's open for sure.
I still laugh, and I'll post it once or twice a year. I just can't stop posting it. What game was it? It might have been the Sarah Catholic game where Tyler is taking a punt return. No, I think it's just like a wildcat and just reverses. Just Sarah Catholic, just crack back on crack back on
crack back. And then he had to come out of the game. Like those guys had to come out of the game. It was.
And those Clairton teams, I mean, I understand the safety issue and all that and why they had to be taken out of football. But, man, those were the good old days back then.
They were. And those were, that was kind of some of that Duquesne-Clairton kind of football game. You would see a ton of that because those games were just so intense. We truly missed that.
100%. And I'm glad you brought up Duquesne. Because when I post about Clairton's historic win streak, I know not everybody sees my comments. I see all these different comments. A lot of people from Duquesne always hit me back saying, Clairton's win streak started when Duquesne shut down. That's not a coincidence. Would you give any merit to that?
Yeah, I would give some merit to it. I would tell the Duquesne folks they're absolutely correct.
You think they might have gotten you guys once in that, what was it, five straight years of winning, 4.5 years?
I would say no.
No, not that Clairton.
We were very successful.
Yeah.
I would say no for, us to win 66 straight, 4.5 straight years, there weren't too many teams that I think could have beat that team.
Right.
And even going to AA, possibly AAA, and playing some of the AAA teams. Because we were really, really talented.
Oh, yeah.
Really talented. Out of that team, we had 6 kids at Pitt at the same time.
Oh, I can remember that. There's a picture. I think they're coming out at Duke, and it's just like Weatherspoon, Boyd, Webb, Howard.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
Yep. I think Manny was already gone. Williams.
Yeah,
I think
Manny
he might
was
have been
gone. Who was it? Webb, Howard. Oh, my man, Trenton Coles.
Trenton Coles. Yes.
Yeah, Trenton Coles. Yeah, man. You can take a trip down memory lane. One of my favorite recruiters in Western Pennsylvania is Bishop Neal, who's at Akron right now. And I always laugh because Bishop was a year or two older than me, but I can remember he always did the dead president's face paint for the WPIAL title game. And I can remember always telling him, like, man, if I was lining up against you, Bishop Neal was one of the baddest dudes to ever come out of Western Pennsylvania. And I feel like his where'd he go? St. Francis, I think?
Francis.
Yeah, he went to St. Francis. So, he wasn't a major recruit, but if you want to talk about just a tough dude, great cut him open.
One of the toughest football players that put the gear on at Clairton.
Mm-hmm. And now he's a superstar in the coaching world. I'm always a big fan of Bishop Neal. So, yeah, big shout to Bishop Neal. Hopefully he's still listening. He's at Akron now, I believe.
He's at Akron.
During the spring.
Yeah, he was just down at Pitt at the 7-on-7.
Oh, was he?
Doing
Nice.
some recruiting. I got a chance to talk to him. Just had a baby, so he's.
Oh, did he?
Really
Nice.
Yes.
Good.
But he's doing
Congratulations.
Well. He's doing
Bishop.
well.
Now, it's something I wanted to bring up to you. So you're the president of the Pittsburgh Black Coaches Association. Can you talk a little bit about that group?
Well, that group was created out of just some head coaches that were getting some jobs, and we just kind of wanted to enhance the opportunities for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking at doing some stuff with some HBCUs. We wanted to get those guys kind of this way up north and give our kids just more opportunities.
Right.
And at that time, I knew all the guys that were getting the head coaching positions, and we said, hey, we don't have this type of representation. Let's see if we can make it happen. And we did.
Very, very cool. And now, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I know Terry Smith is somewhat involved in that, or is that a different group?
Well, that was a different group. So when Terry kind of started his group, it was kind of the same thing, but it took a different avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Terry left and went to Penn State, kind of fell off for a few years, and then I kind of rekindled it, kind of brought it back with, Jose when he was at Sarah,
Dante, I know.
Right, Dante Green, Warfield, all of those guys. Amani Christian with Fran and all of those guys. So it's a great group. We don't always get together. There's not a lot that we, have to discuss because most of our programs are doing well. Some of those guys aren't even head coaches
very healthy
anymore, but they're still helping out. But, at times we'll still have meetings and do our thing. And we support a lot of, like the Willie Thrower. We're very supportive of that. And other organizations will get out and support. So it's still around.
Do you bring on assistant coaches as well to join the organization, or do you have to be a head coach?
No, you don't have to be a head coach. We do accept assistant coaches. We haven't had a lot because we had a large head coaching group.
Yeah.
So we were kind of handling things. But, we welcome all coaches.
Very cool. And say somebody's out there listening that wants to join the group, how would they join?
Just give us a call.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, just pick up the phone. Okay, beautiful.
It's out there. We have our LLC. The numbers of the coaches are out there. So just get in touch with any of us that are a part of, the organization, and we'll get you in.
Another interesting storyline in regards to that this year, 12 full-time, well, I shouldn't say full-time, but 12 permanent head coaching positions came open this cycle. No black men were hired. Did you find that disheartening? I know that there were some finalists like at the Lebo job. Dakota Conwell was one. Trey Tipton's name's been around. Chase Pine's name has been around. And I feel like, just from the outside perspective, just covering the WPIAL, these are fast rising coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, a little bit disheartening. None of those guys got a shot. Now, I will say Dan Mason was hired as Penn Hills as the interim, though, hoping he dominates this year and keeps the job. But was that a little bit disheartening for you?
I don't think I wouldn't say it's disheartening. I just think it's opportunities for guys, and when those positions kind of fit, then it should work.
Right.
It shouldn't be based on color. It shouldn't be based on a guy of my complexion going to North Hills and not having the opportunity.
Right.
It should just be based on coaching experience. If this guy is a fit for us, does he have a great staff? All of those type of things to enhance the program. So not to say it's disheartening, but, those opportunities should still be coming to black coaches.
Right.
When they're the guys that, should
they're
be
the right
interviewed.
fit.
Yeah,
for
gotcha.
sure.
For sure.
How hard is it getting a high school staff? I mean, like just thinking from my perspective, like, I have countless contacts within the WPIAL just because I'm a media outlet, but I'm like, I don't know if I would do well hiring a staff. How is it hiring a staff?
It's very difficult. It is, because the time that you ask the coaches to put in,
right,
and the amount of money that we're paid, and then just working with certain school districts and programs, it's difficult.
Right.
So it is difficult because, guys have to work.
Yep.
It's not like down south where, in Georgia, guys are getting paid $100-something thousand, $200-something thousand to be a head coach, and his assistants are making 50 or 60. Like, that's their job.
I had a buddy that left college football to go be a high school assistant in Texas. I'm like, what do you mean a high school? He's like, oh yeah, I'm a high school assistant linebacker coach.
Correct.
And it's his full-time job.
Full-time job.
He teaches math, and then, they got him to teach math, and then he goes and teaches linebackers in the fall.
So if it was like it is down south, I think it would be easier to get guys to commit, because that would be their job.
Right.
And then, I think it would enhance then the coaching trees for guys, because they would take it more seriously.
Right.
You wouldn't have guys during the summer saying, Coach, I can't commit to that. I have to work. 7-on-7s are during the day. Guys have to take days off of work. So it is hard to get guys to commit, and it is hard to put quality staffs together.
Do you feel youth resurgence coming through the WPIAL? I mean, in the last couple of years, Mars hires a guy under 29. Southmoreland hires Dustin Shove. Kiski goes young with Braden Timmons. Do you see a youth resurgence? Is it like kind of a young man's game right now, just because it's so hard to juggle a full-time job and being a head coach?
Yeah, kind of. But if you look at the WPIAL and the coaches that have been around a long time, I think most coaches start in the program and then you see them coach 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So those guys are kind of fading out now. Render's gone, Novak's gone.
Yeah, Todden's gone.
All of those type of guys are moving out. So, of course, the younger guys are coming in.
Right. And, just sitting here thinking off the top of my head, I mean, to some successful ones. I mean, Tanner Gary at Fort Cherry, I mean, he was kind of a home run hire, but he's a third generation coach already.
Absolutely. And they have a great program. It's great to see that in that community, because it's kind of like our community. So why they're successful. Why they continue to have that pride every time they step on the field.
No doubt about that. Now, do you have any games circled on your schedule here, Coach?
No. We have some tough ones lined up. Week 0 is Farrell. We have Wash High, I think, week 4. We just added Alderdice, which will be a great matchup.
Alderdice is going to be an awesome matchup. Yeah,
right.
we had them at our 7-on-7 a couple weeks ago. They have some talent over there at the Dice.
Sure. And I think when they go into the state playoffs, they're like a 4A team.
Yeah, I think they might be 5 there.
Right.
Yeah, they might be 5.
We have Steel Valley back on the schedule. So we're excited about some of our matchups early to prepare us for the season.
Here's something I want to ask you. You're the perfect guy to ask. Small school versus big school. Can the smaller schools compete with the 4As and even into the 5As? Like, as WPIAL Insider, when Aliquippa kept getting moved up, I'm like, okay, this is it. Aliquippa's done. And then they just keep winning, and their hashtag is #whatever A. And, it just goes to show, like, when you played them a couple years ago, you guys split that series 1-1.
Yes.
So where do you stand along the line of, hey, like, I know that you coach a powerhouse, and it's a different, Clairton's a different level than majority of 1A schools. But do you feel you can compete in 4A and maybe even 5A?
No.
No to 5A?
No.
What about 4?
No. And the
But
reason.
But Aliquippa just won 4.
Yeah, but Aliquippa is a bigger AA football team.
Yeah,
They're truly a AA football team that could play AAA. And in the last 10 years, look at the talent that they've had. Just like when we made the streak, we felt like we can go out and compete against any 4A or 5A team for a game or two, but not a whole season. Because you're talking about that team with Tyler and those guys. I think our largest roster was 37.
From that streak, 37 was
our largest roster.
Wow.
Right. Which makes it tough.
And does that include freshmen when you say that?
That includes freshmen.
Okay, so that's in freshmen, you do count them on your roster, but freshmen are freshmen. I mean, there's a reason why there is freshman football for a majority of teams.
So most of those 4A, 5A, 6A programs, they have a freshman team,
and then they have
a JV
60.
team, and then they have a varsity team with 60 or plus. So, 1 week, maybe 2 weeks just to get after it. But a
fun week season, 0 matchup, maybe. Yeah.
But a regular season, it'll be tough.
Right. Yeah.
You got to stay away from injuries. You got to stay away from getting banged up.
And now that you do say that, just thinking back, the Quips did lose their go-to guy, Marcus Council, last year. They lose a couple, sneak in. People forget they were a wild card into the playoffs, and then they run the table as soon as Marcus Council
gets back.
Right. So that's a
and for us, it's like that every year. If we lose 1 or 2 starters, it's tough because we're scrambling because of our numbers. But if we got all our guys out there and we're playing, line them up. Let's play.
I can specifically remember we were at a 7-on-7. You probably would have been the DC at Clairton at this time. There was a 7-on-7 at Gateway. It was sponsored by Red Bull and all this. And I can remember Tyler Boyd just absolutely cooking us.
Yes.
And I can remember, at Central Catholic, we're like, did we just lose to a 1A school? Yes. I mean, they just dog walked us. And we had Perry Hills was a power 4 quarterback. Anthony Nixon was a power 4 receiver in DB. Damian Jones-Moore went to Toledo. Like we had dudes and Clairton cooked us.
We were just that talented. And 7-on-7 is more of a skill set, you know, receiver and DB kind of skill set, speed type of deal, creating matchups and stuff. And that year we actually won the Red Bull tournament.
I remember that. And you guys went to like a thing in Texas.
Right. And we lost to Texas Arlington Martin in the championship.
And they were probably massive.
So about Texas Arlington Martin, when we went down, we found out that the year the Steelers played Green Bay in the Super Bowl, they used Texas Arlington Martin's facilities to practice.
Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you're dealing with.
So that's what we were dealing with.
That's beautiful. Where did your team last year, you had one blemish, I believe, week 0 to
Imani.
And you almost beat them.
19-13.
Where would that team have ranked amongst the state championship teams of recent memory of Clairton?
I would say 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
The 2010 team we had, that defense was just out of sight.
Yeah.
One of the records I remember.
That's the Bishop Neal defense.
Yes, that's the Bishop Neal defense.
I know that defense.
One of the records, we were going into week 6 and hadn't given up a positive yard.
Oh, no way.
Week 6.
Wow.
-6 yards.
So this 10 shutout streak. I mean, that was like, that's what you're supposed to do.
2010 was lights out.
What was the best Clairton team? Tyler senior year?
I would have to argue the 2010. That 2010 team. I would have to argue that defense could have played against anyone because we got in the state championship game and we're down 24-0, if you remember.
Yeah.
And that defense said, okay, enough is enough. We stood up and came back and won that game.
Interesting. No, I don't remember that. I was still in high school. I would follow it along, but
Taylor Riverside.
Taylor. Okay. Yeah.
And it was cold all week. We couldn't get out and practice. We were in the gymnasium, and I was complaining all week, Coach, we have to get outside. Like, we have to get our timing. We have to see this thing full. and we just couldn't get outside. It was too cold. The field was, frozen solid. And we just got off to a slow start, but that team was that team.
Yeah, I believe that. I can remember being in high school, like we always used to go down to, no matter who was playing or what, we were down at that Heinz Field at the time. But right. Bishop Neal and them, some bad dudes, man.
Tyler's senior year is probably the second. And then I would rank this past year's team as third.
Yeah, so that's some really high praise.
Right?
Yeah, very,
for sure.
Who are you excited about on your team this year, Coach?
Brandon Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy is the real deal, Holyfield.
Yes, he is the real deal. Probably one of the most talented kids I've coached as a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a ton of room to grow, and still needs, to improve in some areas. But as a 10th grader, he's that guy.
He's still got 2 more years.
Yes.
Now, is he on the same? Now, when I say this, okay, so I want to preface this for all the listeners out here.
Mm-hmm.
When I say the most electrifying player I've ever seen watching high school sports, and it's a lot. I recruited at Pitt for 10 years, recruited at Toledo, Duquesne. Like I lived, breathed, ate high school sports. I still think it's Tyler Boyd is the most electric, and probably Matt Sig is number 2. Is Brandon in that realm, do you think?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet offensively. Because we haven't used him in that fashion.
Well, you didn't really need to. I mean, you had guys all over the place last year.
Correct. He'll be used in that fashion this year.
Uh-huh.
You'll see him line up at Wildcat. You'll see him line up at running back. You'll see him line up at receiver. You'll see him in jet motion. So, you'll see him. So
defensive coordinators, good luck game planning for this guy.
For sure. For sure. Because he's just one of those guys. But I would say Tyler as well.
Yeah.
Is the most electric kid I've seen in high school with the football. The Russell Shells, those kids had great careers,
mm-hmm.
but Tyler was just...
He was a different level.
Different.
Like I put him in the level of Terrell Pryor and Revis.
Yes, for sure.
I think he's up in that aura, and I don't think anybody that has seen him play would ever argue. I don't think that he's Pryor. I don't think anybody will ever be Pryor ever again, but... You could make a case. Hey, did Terrell Pryor win 4 straight state titles and win 60 games in a row?
There you go.
My favorite Tyler Boyd story. People forget this one. Tyler was a football player,
mm-hmm.
and I don't want to undercut the hoops program at Clairton, but I would say that the hoops players aren't as bought in as they are in football, and I know that because Tyler and Tarish and all them were basketball players. And I can remember Tyler Boyd just locking up Lincoln Park his senior. I think it was either
senior year.
Yeah, it was a senior. It was either a 1-16 matchup or a 1-8 matchup.
Well, I think it was 1-8.
It won 1-8
mm-hmm.
second round.
Yep.
And it was like, this is just what a dude does, and everybody had Lincoln Park
penciled in
as the champions. And Clairton was like, nope, not tonight, tonight. I think
we're going to come out here and compete.
That video, that game is on Champ Sportsnet on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I challenge everybody, go watch that game because that is a great basketball game, and it's just Tyler and I think it was Titus Howard who was a real deal hooper.
Yes,
Titus kind of took over as well, but
very very quick defensively.
Yeah,
wiry, strong kid. Just a great athlete as well.
This is why I can't have you on the podcast because I just start going down memory lane with Clairton. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Who else are you excited for? We were talking about Brandon Murphy. We get into Clairton.
Chase Booker.
Yeah.
He has.
What position is he?
He's our safety kind of slot guy. We'll move him around a little bit this year as well. Michael Ruffing, kid just graduated. That's his brother.
Oh,
Jace is his brother, right?
Okay.
Michael's going off to Slippery Rock, but Jace is his brother.
Nice.
Very talented. Rajon Williams, it's his time to step up. I don't know if you remember Ramondo Williams being on the staff.
Yeah.
We graduated together at Clairton. It's his son.
Okay.
We're excited about him. And then we have some young guys coming up. We have one guy in Keith Cravens.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 6'2".
And these
great
are guys
receiver.
maybe buried a little bit. I mean, last year you for Clairton, you had a ton of seniors
Yes.
last year.
Yes.
How many was it? Like
11.
11. Yeah. So that's
11. That's a large number.
What's
for
a
us.
normal number for you guys?
5.
5. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have 4 graduating off this up and coming team.
Okay.
That's it. So 11's a large number. So most of these guys were kind of behind them, and right now we're kind of teaching them now to be the guy.
Yeah.
Like it's your turn. It's your time.
Do you feel good about this team?
Yeah, I feel good about this team. I think that the part of competing is there. They're competing hard now during the summer. They're working extremely hard in the weight room. We've seen some great gains in the weight room. So I'm excited about this team.
I always go back to a couple years ago. You know, not that you guys were in a rough spot, but you had, you were a little bit over 500 for 2 straight years. And I saw you down at a week 0 game at the Wolverina. I can't remember what game it was, but I was talking to you and you said, just letting you know, pal.
We're coming.
We're coming. We're back. And I think you went to the title game and then you won it last year. And I was like, oh, Coach Wade wasn't lying. Do you feel good about that group in regards to the confidence or they still got a little bit of work to do?
I definitely feel great about this group. And when you think about it, a few of these kids that I've mentioned have been with the program a few years. So they've had that experience of what it looks like, to get into the playoffs and tough playoff games and make a playoff run and kind of how we approach that. So I feel very strong about this team coming on. We still have a lot of work.
Yeah, as does every team.
Right, and we're doing that now, a lot of new faces, but it's guys that have been in the program, so they understand the expectation.
What's your staff like? I mean, I know that you were always a Clairton guy. You've been there for a while. Is your staff kind of built like that as well? What's your staff like?
Staff is all Clairton.
All Clairton.
All Clairton.
So
all guys that have come through the program, that have played in the Little League program, that have gone off to college and now they're back. My offense and defensive coordinators are brothers, Capri Thompson and Jeff Thompson.
I didn't know Capri was the DC. Okay.
He's the OC.
Oh, Jeff's the DC.
Jeff's the DC.
Oh, okay.
And Jeff's been with me the longest. I think this is Jeff's 11th year with the program.
Yeah.
I think Capri is 5 years in now. That'd be his 5th year this year. Marcel Washington, kid that played at Clairton, is back now working in the school. He's on the staff. My son coached with us last year. It was his first year on the staff.
How was that?
It was great. It was really great.
What do you have him coaching?
DBs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He went down to Duquesne as a DB. That's his passion.
Yep.
But it was great. I had a great moment in my coaching career that I had the opportunity to coach my son in the WPIAL championship. Yep. He ended up scoring. It was kind of a surreal moment. He got wide open, and I was so happy for him. And then to have him on the sideline last year, and to win a championship with him that way as a
very
coach,
cool.
It was.
I didn't know that he was on your staff.
Yeah,
that's
he was
really
on my
cool.
staff.
How old is he now?
He is 24.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So
Michael Wright. When I first got into coaching, I coached Michael Wright. He was one of my first kids that I coached. He's back on the staff. His son was our quarterback, Michael Wright Jr., that went to St. Vincent. Dante Wright, who's going now to Slippery Rock. And then we have another one coming up. He'll be with us probably in about 4 years. But it's just all Clairton guys.
And this is the beauty of Clairton. And who is Brandon Murphy's dad?
Brandon Murphy's dad is Brandon Murphy from McKeesport. But Brandon Murphy, his dad, came and played with us his junior year.
That's what I thought. And that was like 2011-ish?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I thought
there was some stuff going on in McKeesport. He ended up moving to Clairton with an aunt. He had to sit out the whole regular season his junior year with us.
Yeah.
And he was then eligible to play the playoffs, got into the playoffs, and he was the reason we beat Dunmore that year.
He was a linebacker?
He was a linebacker, but we moved him to nose guard.
Oh, really?
During the playoffs, he was moved to nose guard and couldn't no one block him.
Really?
Yeah. That year, his junior year, we played Dunmore in the championship.
Yeah.
They were averaging almost 400 yards a game, and they didn't score.
Really?
And it was because of Brandon Murphy Sr.
I thought that was his dad, but Brad Everett at the Pittsburgh Post Gazette had mentioned that last year during the show, and I was like, "Wait, I know Brandon Murphy. I was in high school with Brandon Murphy, that's his dad."
A quick tidbit about that: Brandon Murphy Sr. and Brandon Murphy Jr. are the only dad-son combo to win a state championship at the same school.
Really? How about that? Yeah, the WPIAL Insider Show giving you all sorts of different factors. That's an awesome fact right there.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, Coach Wade, this is, I could go on for hours. This has been absolutely awesome. Thank you for coming to the studio. Do you have anything for me here, friend?
No, I truly appreciate this. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
The problem is I keep getting diverted going down Clairton memory lane. I mean, the Red Bull thing, how I remembered, I remember that was sponsored by Red Bull. Because I remember wearing that dang shirt because it was a nice shirt.
It was.
And we got it from that 7-on-7. And I remember going to Taco Bell with my buddies after we lost. We were like, how the heck did we just lose to a single A program? And we didn't know it at the time. Tyler was a junior and all them.
How talented we were.
Yeah, you didn't know it at the time. It was like, they were real deal dudes.
Yeah, they were.
Coach Wade, thank you so much for coming on. Tune back in. We're going to have to do this again, another off-season edition of the WPIAL Insider Show right here on X.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.